Hey everyone, this is going to be a really random video, but I keep getting asked about the bandana on my wrist that I was wearing in a certain photo, which I'll show you right now. About that bandana, they asked for a step-by-step tutorial because apparently some of them have been trying to do it and it keeps falling off. But it's pretty simple. I actually learnt by watching another tutorial, but I'll just quickly show you, I guess, the way I do it. I'll probably move the camera a bit lower. Don't mind my socks if you can see them. And don't mind my voice either because I have been a bit sick. So the first step is pretty simple. You obviously need a bandana of your own. Obviously the bandanas come in squares. So the first, what you do is obviously corner to corner to the opposite corner, but mine's already shaped like that since I've ironed it and everything to make it easier for me. But one side is going to be exactly lined to the other one like this. Exactly, but the other side, make sure that it's left a little bit, I don't know if you can see, it's like here, yeah, anyway. What I did after that was, instead of folding it from this side that way, just fold the corner in so it doesn't bother you afterwards. So like the little part, you fold it down there. Then you fold it in one more, so basically like that. And you just keep folding it until you get to start doing it the width of how thick you want it. And again. And again. And people usually get confused to this part because they think that it's not meant to sit like that. I'll show you. See, this is the last folding. See this? Last one. I don't know if you can see it. One more. So it'll end up like this. Usually to make it easier, I did iron it, well, use a straightener or anything, but that's pretty much it. Okay, so this is the tricky part. What people do wrong is they start from here and start wrapping it right up here and right in the corner, but you actually have to start further in, for example between the end and the middle. So I put my wrist, or my forearm, there instead of my wrist. So for example, I don't know how to show you, wait, I'll place it down on my bed and I'll do it this way. I'll show you right now. So like that. Not in the middle, but not right at the end either. Okay, I'll just show you again. Then I start wrapping it, but I don't wrap this side. I start wrapping the longer part. But what I do is I start closer that way. So like more towards, slightly on an angle, but more towards going around sideways, not up yet. But I start using, I use my leg to lean it so it stays tight. I do it one more round. So for example, see what it's doing here? It's overlapping it slightly. And I start tightening it on this side as well. So I use my leg to tighten it, and I go one more round. So it's like that. So it's like overlapping the middle part. Make sure it's ironed properly. I haven't even ironed it again. And I tighten it and I hold this part like that. So as soon as I tighten it one more time, it basically fits around my wrist twice until this part sticks up like that, and I hold it with my fingers. And then I do the end part that's sticking out and do it the opposite way and go over that part. So yeah, twice on the longer part around your wrist. Depends how big your wrist is, because mine's really small, it's a bit hard. So mine basically is 2 from the long part around your wrist overlapping once and then holding it by this hand so it stays there tight. I'll hold it there, then this part that's hanging out, that will stay there hanging, because since that one overlapped at once, it will just hang, it won't move around. So you just overlap that there, that'll stick up like that. What I do this part is I actually use my teeth, so it's not basically your hands, so you just use the teeth and you tie a knot. Basically like you're tying your shoelace, just a knot like that once and tighten it. To make it tighter, you do it again, so obviously use your teeth again. So you're basically making a knot and tightening that. So it'll end up like that, but you don't have to leave that part out. There's going to be like a, for example, you can fit your finger in one part. As soon as you tighten that, you just stick it underneath. There's a part that's hanging out, so obviously there might be, you don't have to do a knot, but for me I do a knot sometimes just once. Sometimes it won't end up like that. There's ways, like sometimes it'll be like this, but there are ways of tucking it right underneath, but for me it's a bit hard. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much more to it. You can make it thinner if you want, which means you go a bit more closer together sideways, but this is probably the easier way. Usually it's not that bulky, but I think I tied it too much because I always tend to do that, but it doesn't usually come out that way. Yeah, so any more tutorials about anything else, you just let me know. I'll be more than happy to do that for you. I hope it helps some people. Yeah, thank you.